Are you tired of high-pressure tactics?
No, I'm not going to sign that. It's too much.
At Community Auto Group, you'll find we have a straightforward approach.
If other dealers have made you uncomfortable, give Community a try. You'll enjoy your experience here and find a straightforward deal that's right for you, not high-pressure tactics.
Community Auto Group, straightforward deals from the straightforward dealer.
I'll formally start this meeting. It's Tuesday, May 21st, and we have the agenda today, but there's a little caveat with minutes. We're going to approve them on review, contingent of being reviewed.
At this time, I'll make a motion that May 13th or May 14th meetings will be approved after.
Okay. All right, and I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any old business, of course, this morning? I have none.
None.
Okay. Moving along to new business. Mary, you have the floor.
Sure. The B20 project's being let today,
Okay.
so hopefully the increase in the gas prices won't affect it too much. I'm a little nervous about that, but we'll see. And then there will be some maintenance crack filling going on. They're going to start today on B35 over by the sewer plant. I believe that was resurfaced in 2009, and it's got some cracks coming through, so we'll be doing some routine maintenance, and then we will also be doing it at S34, kind of from 120 from Highway 122 south to about Birchnell, and then on B30 over here on the east side of the county, from S70 to S56, and then a 1 mile segment B63 down there by Missouri on the county line over to Missouri. So that if you see them out doing that, that's what they are working on. I sent out proposals or requests for proposals for the salt shed to build that over by the airport pit, and talked to the tenant and told him that that was going to be going on, and he was fine with that. Very agreeable. So hopefully those are due Friday, and we'll see how those come in. And then the county will prepare the site, and then we'll have somebody come in and set some precast wall panels and build the structure.
Do we have any idea what that should cost?
It'll be about approximately 40,000
Okay, I just.
on the high side. The panels will be about 15, and then the building will probably be about 15,000. So somewhere in the tune of 40, I believe, is what I had budgeted. And didn't really sustain a whole lot of damage from the rain, so we're kind of in good shape in that aspect.
Yeah, we didn't have any roads wash out.
We had water over the road in a couple spots, but nothing severe. So
Whereabouts on that?
285th up north of town, between just east of Eisenhower Mallard. The water was over the road, and it doesn't normally go over the road there, so we need to see if there isn't a broken tile. And then we had one spot over in Clear Lake. It went over the road on 260th, old 18, just west of Yarrow. And that was probably debris blocking the pipe that it couldn't get through, because it never goes over there either. And I believe there was one location down south, I can't recall, but very minimal. And it, over the road, and then it's gone, so it wasn't too badly damaged. We're hanging in there, hoping for the rain to quit, so we can get the roads bladed.
I feel sorry for them up in Mitchell County.
Yeah, they've got a mess to deal with, yeah. And then Clark was here last week, and I talked to Tom about filling his position now that he's been promoted 2 shop foremen, and I think I would like to post those next weekend if that's okay. Okay, post that for one opening at this time. So, all right, I will do that.
Okay.
That's all I have to report on.
Well, it seems like a lot.
Well, and one other thing, there's a lot of, last year and the year before, we had a lot of utilities, fiber companies come in and install their utilities, and we've been finding a lot of tile problems, and some of those are because of that. However, the utilities we've been working with have been repairing them. So if anybody does, mention something to you guys, please pass them along so we can get the utility companies to fix them.
Okay. Yeah, it wouldn't show up till this year.
Well, last year was really dry, so
Yeah.
not a lot of things showed up last year.
Okay, Bob, do you have any other questions or concerns?
No, don't
Mary,
really do.
I have neither, so, all right, well, thank you. Moving along to item B, under our agenda, we have county auditors. First one is the claims.
Claims are here for your consideration this morning.
At this time, I'll make a motion to approve the claims and committee sign where appropriate.
Okay, I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, moving along for payroll, any?
Yes, we do have quite a few payroll, and they all can be approved by resolution, and one resolution is fine.
Okay.
Megan Harms in the Sheriff's Department, replacing an employee who has resigned. Sam Seifkin in the Engineers Department, which would be summer construction help. Cody Moore, routine seasonal park work in the Conservation Department. Ethan Hubbard, also conservation seasonal work. And Troy Olson, routine seasonal intern in the Conservation Department.
So there's only one really full-time person, the rest of them are seasonal.
That's exactly what that.
At this time, I'll make a motion to do resolution 2013, number 42, for the 4 part-timers and 1 full-time person.
Okay. And I'll second resolution number 42 for the part-time and full-time positions. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Sandy, did we have any other?
No other payroll matters.
Okay. We have a public hearing under item 3 here at 10 a.m. for drainage, but with that, is there any other drainage?
Yes, there is. I smile because there's a lot here.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's a good thing we got Larry back there, so we can put him back to work.
All right, Drainage District 49, there is a pretty large problem with the main there. There's thought that a whole stretch of 1,000 feet of tile might need to be replaced. That problem was reported by Scott Kennedy.
I looked at this one this morning because I only live a mile and a half from it. It is plugged and I think you need to get a hold of them so we get a good estimate and everything on what it's gonna cost, because it might be fairly expensive.
Gary Peters was gonna visit with a contractor and get an estimate and call me with that, because we don't know where that estimate will land as far as prices. Fred Lunt reported a problem in Drainage District 7. There's some holes in the field. Drainage District 56, Dave Lutt reported a problem. There's 2 big sinkholes. Drainage District 31, the main tile, there's a hole in the 48-inch tile. And Drainage District 31, Richard Miller reported a tile blowout.
That's gotta be the third then.
That often is when he's calling.
So we have 5 of them this morning.
Okay.
Larry will have to go on overtime then. At this time, I'll make a motion that all 5 of these problems be investigated by our highly qualified Larry Freeman.
Okay. And with that, I'd second that for Larry to investigate Drainage Districts 49, 7, 56, 31, and another one in 31. So with that, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Let's see, Sandy, Can you take a little lead on this, or do we have some background, or is this a little soon?
I think it's a little soon. Let's go
Okay,
through
we're gonna move on to Tom, some dock permits.
Got two of them today.
Okay.
51P at the end of Leroy Street, PM Park. As for assignees and for hoists, certificates of insurance, watercraft registrations, policy acknowledgements have been filed. The appropriate fee paid. 55P at Oak Street in Oakwood Park. There are 6 hoists, 6 assignees, one of which has provided notification that he's not going to put in a hoist this year, but paid the fee to hold his space for 2014 due to the low water levels, which are rising. Maybe it'll change his mind. The certificates of insurance, watercraft registrations, and acknowledgement of receipt of the policy have been filed. When the appropriate fee has been paid, I'd recommend approval of both 51P and 55P.
Questions for Tom on that? He's pretty clear on the,
Don't believe so, but
okay?
I do believe there'll be a lot of boats out there now, because I drove by and it looked like there's a little water one running over the weir ones now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's recovered nicely.
It's got recovered nicely. This time I'll make a motion to, okay, for you to sign the 51P and the 55P documents.
Okay, and I'll second that. In favor to approve dock permits 51 and 55, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we have a Rick Liebenhagen that's applied for a fireworks permit. I think you take the lead on this, Michelle?
Yes, he has everything in order, including his insurance. He has done these with us in the past.
Yes.
When did he do
Another,
July 13th.
Oh, okay. At this time, I'll make a motion to approve Rick Liebenhagen's fireworks permit.
okay, and I'll so second that, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Let's keep moving along here. Under letter E, agreements and contracts, we have maintenance and service agreement with Acra.
Well, as I'm looking at this, they have dated everything May 28th, so I think we should table it till
Okay.
next Tuesday.
Or approve it with the date of
Okay,
May
28th,
28th.
we can do that?
Yeah, I
Okay,
would say go ahead and take care of it.
okay.
All right.
At this time, I'll make a motion to approve the service agreement with Accurate Controls. They're the ones that do the work out at the law enforcement center, right?
We're the ones that installed the original jail controls out
Yep.
when it was built.
Yep. Yeah, I'll authorize the chair to sign that agreement.
Okay, and I'll so second that, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We'll keep going here. We have patched your lease and,
I've got that. We have Randy Nielsen review the lease, and the Bears have also reviewed it. And everything is in order. It is for $2,100 per year for 3 years.
okay,
At this time, I'll make a motion, since we did everything right on that, to do the proper bidding and stuff. I'll make a motion that we sign the agreement with Joe Bear for the lease of the pasture.
okay, and I'll so second it, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, do we have any appointments?
Edmund.
Nope, I don't either. Few minutes before.
I have something brief
You wanted-
under correspondence communication.
Yes,
We received the Bronze Award from the Iowa Illinois Safety Council for 2012. We even get a new plaque that Dave and Julia will have to hang. The award is given on the basis of whether the employer has an incident rate less than or equal to other employers in its standard industrial code. We've received this award 7 out of the last 10 years. Our rate for 2012, for which we received this award, was 4.15, which was down from 4.94 in 2011. So I think it's good to acknowledge the safety efforts of our employees. It's nice to receive awards, but it's better to send our employees home at night uninjured and able to return the next day. So it's as much of a testament to them as it is the efforts that we take to keep them safe.
So it wasn't the fire department that brought it this morning? It was-
No, fire department did not deliver it this morning, so, no.
My only comment would be safety first.
Yep.
Thank you, Phil.
All right. Okay, moving along, we have a public hearing at 10 a.m. For the Union Hills Tile Outlet Project in a joint drainage district, 31 and 86. Or District 1, 31 and 86. So, 3 minutes.
How you doing? Very good.
Go back coming from Mark's. This was the parcel here, close out with the owners. And this was-
Give me
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hi, Deb.
There's some maps, I'm just gonna lay them out here if you're all set. Throw the stuff.
Did you? There you go. You want to share there?
You want to share?
One here, right?
Right. Oh, being resourceful.
Larry, you know it by heart. At this time, this is the project down by Union Hills to add a little more acres to it. The Iowa Heritage Foundation and the DNR, and I think even the federal government's got part of that. And Doug's here to explain what needs to be done. And from there, we'll, as trustees, we'll go from there to see what we gotta do next. So I'll turn it over to Doug.
all right, thank you. When the Union Hills property was first being developed, the goal was, among other things, to develop a 200-acre basin out there. There's some peat ground out there, and so we acquired the land to develop that basin, but DD 31 lateral 1L coming down from the north was at an elevation low enough that we could not restore that basin without backing water up into that tile. And so we needed to purchase an additional piece of ground to gain the elevation on that tile so that we could open up that tile and just let gravity flow right out onto the ground. And so by doing that, preserving the drainage for the private landowners upstream and using that water to fill that 200 basin wetland, 200-acre basin down below it. So with that in mind, years ago, we built the dike for this 200-acre basin, and that dike is actually down just off B55. And so the dike's been in place, but we never did anything with the tile, so the wetland has never really developed. So at this point, the Iowa Natural Heritage Foundation has purchased that additional land. We should be purchasing it then, or we, the DNR, purchasing it then from Iowa Natural Heritage Foundation sometime this summer. So at this point, what we are proposing then is to daylight actually 2 drainage district tiles on the north side. And if you look at this map, the parcel we purchased is in red. And you can see that there's a lateral coming from all the way up in section 22, running down through that red parcel. there's also a lateral on the east side of that red parcel that runs north and south. It's right in the road ditch. And that services some ground to the northeast. So those are the two lines that we are proposing to daylight. And they'll be daylighted at an elevation that, you know, even if you had a 50-year rain event, the water wouldn't back up against those tiles. So, meanwhile, downstream, closer to the B55, that it maybe shows up a little bit better on this smaller map. But downstream from this parcel, just before it hits B55 is where the dike is built. And there are 3 tiles right in that vicinity. So 2 of the tiles basically just service the public lands. So where they come through underneath the dike, we would block those tiles off, and that won't affect anybody else. It's just draining the public land. And then the big tile that's coming down through the new parcel and on south, that tile will also be blocked. But the landowners upstream are already daylighted, so it won't impact the landowners upstream. And the end result then will be protected drainage for the landowners upstream and storage capacity, flood storage water capacity within this 200-acre basin. So, you know, I guess I perceive it as a win-win situation for everyone. And we've drafted up an agreement that the trustees will need to review and you know, modify as necessary. So we've got everything on paper, but the DNR will pay for daylighting these tiles. And we'll pay for maintaining those outlets in perpetuity. So the work that we do up on the top end will be our responsibility to take care of, and that'll be in writing. And, you know, at our cost for maintenance as well as installation. So that's it in a nutshell. It's a pretty easy project. But of course, it's in the drainage district, so we need to present it to who's ever interested and go from there.
Well, thank you, Doug. A lot of thought and research and analysis went into this and engineering. But with that, I'd like to take this opportunity to open up the public portion of this hearing, so I'm doing so. And we'll accept comments, questions, concerns, and then little, maybe tell your name for the record. So with that, I open up the public hearing.
My name is Rainey Newbecker. I own the 10-acre parcel to the east of this red area.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Hi.
Hi.
You said a 50-year rain event? Did
Yeah.
you mean to say 50 years?
Mm-hmm.
So if we have a 100-year event, like we've had several, it would back up the tile?
Well, probably would, you know, for some amount of time.
Okay.
But, I mean, if you have a 100-year event, you know, the tiles are way beyond capacity anyway, so.
Has there been an engineering analysis to see what would happen then?
I think so. We had a design report down, let's see how they describe.
With that, I might comment that the topography of the land starts out being wet naturally.
Yes.
You know, I mean, just, you know, throw that out, and that's, you know, we all know it's, under natural conditions it's gonna be wet, so under wetter conditions,
Let's see.
how did it do last year with the dry, I mean, did it dry up, or was it still like a wetland? I mean, did it really shrink, did you notice?
Oh, yeah.
Really, noticeably?
Oh, yeah. Yes, noticeably. Empty.
Yeah,
basically.
well, the lake was kind of my gauge, like,
Sometimes in these engineering reports, they'll say, oh, you know, in a 10-year event or a 50-year event, it's going to bounce up to a certain level, and it'll come down in X number of hours or days. And I'm not finding that interval of time. But in a 100-year storm, the water would bounce, there'd be about 4/10 of a foot of water in the tile. So that's 4 times, that's about 5 inches. So the tile isn't even underwater.
Okay.
So even in a 100-year event.
So even with a 100-year event, the daylighted tile would still not be underwater?
Right.
Okay.
Is that in writing?
Pardon?
Is that in writing on 100 years?
Yeah.
It wasn't 50, you said?
It's in your report here.
Okay.
Could the landowners, adjacent landowners, get a copy of that?
Yeah, sure.
Engineering report? That would be
Well, yeah, I think so. Let's see, it was privately prepared. But,
I'm sure,
Yeah, I
I'm
think
sure
I
we'll
can-
have
yeah,
a copy of it
yeah.
on file here
Okay.
in the courthouse.
yeah, there shouldn't be
I
any
think we
problem
already have
because once it was contracted for the state essentially. So it's a state product, so.
So it
that
should be
should
public
yeah,
information?
Yeah.
I think we already have the report.
Oh, that's right, because the county engineer already looked it over.
Okay.
This 200-acre basin that you're talking about, is that off of the new land that you just are going to be purchasing?
Actually, almost all of it'll be on the land that,
I mean, there's only about 40 acres down there that's
Right.
actually a basin.
right, yeah.
Could you show us on this map approximately, or, I know it backs up to B55, but just,
while you're doing that survey, ask for record your name.
Roger Newberger.
Okay, Roger, okay, thank you.
Let's see. Maybe I can just try to draw it on here.
and maybe this was easier, this one, or like, because here's B55, I don't know.
This is what they must do. I didn't actually see that initially. One that's parallel, there's a tiny little, it said it's like in the road ditch or next.
Okay.
See that?
Yeah.
It hardly showed
I
up.
wonder what it looks into, if we just dumps in the road.
I'm Russ Lorenzen, and I'm concerned about the taxes on this. That whole line is, we're paying taxes on it every time they make improvements down below. And it looks to me as you're gonna dump it all right into this area, well, we are not included with that down below, so we shouldn't have to be taxed. And every year or two, I get taxed for some more for repairs down below. Where does that stop?
This particular 40, you should never get taxed, or you should never get an assessment on it, because it's under their jurisdiction. And
You're our supervisor with that, okay?
right.
But what I'm saying is that all the way, that goes all the way to Thornton.
Yep.
That thing. Well, Roger and I get taxed for the whole area.
Yep.
Ever so often, we're assessed. Looks to me, we're dumping it right down there, we're not obligated for down below.
Well,
when the basin fills up.
In 100 years.
Well, I mean, it'll be full, but in a 100-year event, you know, of course it bounces up and then it comes back down. But regardless, you know, we'll maintain the pool at most times at a specific elevation. So if the tiles are running, you've got water running into that pool, then you've got water running out the other end, down by the dike. And that water is going back down into the drainage district tile. There's a big intake between the dike and the blacktop. And then there's also an intake on the south side of the blacktop, so.
And I've never seen any water going in there. Is there water going in there now?
No, well, no, probably not, because the tile's still functioning underneath the whole system.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's in bad shape. There's a lot of blowouts. In fact, we, on our own, fixed a blowout a few years back that you could have dropped a pickup into, so.
And I got another question about this area in taxation. Seems to me these people that are buying this, Heritage or whatever you call it, have got a lot of money and everything, and I think they ought to be paying taxes. They're taking it off the tax roll, and we pay taxes, but nobody ever tells me anything about this, how much taxes do we pay.
Yeah. On the federal land, there are payments that are made in lieu of taxes. The revenues from offshore drilling are used for that, but, you know, I'll admit, they don't match. I mean, the payments are in lieu of taxes and they don't match the tax payments. This new piece of ground is not gonna be with the federal government. And I'm pretty sure the state will be paying taxes on that. When the state buys land, you know, there are different authorities the state has for buying land depending on what kind of source of money, or what the source of the money is. And almost all of them state that the state will pay taxes on the lands that the state purchase.
Now, that's us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's right.
And for Russell and the Newburgers, undoubtedly, there's more people in this drainage district. So, you know.
And one of the problems, though, is that the DNR or the United States government, U.S. Fish and Wildlife, they don't pay any of these things. Bob sends them bills, but they don't pay anything. Now, if you're gonna have water coming in there strong enough that you might go over a dike into a drainage district that we're paying on, isn't that part of your problem, same as us? Do you pay assessments? U.S. Fish, not necessarily DNR, but the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, do they pay assessment?
Well, like I said, the Fish and Wildlife Service makes payments in lieu of taxes because apparently it's illegal to tax the federal government or something to that effect.
I guess
So
that's true.
This whole thing here, you know, United States Fish and Wildlife, they're never gonna pay.
No,
We
I know.
We can argue that till.
I know, I agree,
Next
but
Tuesday.
the idea of it is,
For
with
a
this
few.
new addition,
This is for a
we're gonna
few.
possibly have enough water that goes over the dike into our drainage
Drainage
district.
district.
So you're causing it to take more water.
well, we're passing on the water that's coming in from above. Actually, we're
Maybe cutting it back actually a little bit.
Because some of it will be evaporating away
Well,
or seeping away.
Yeah, I mean, because you're holding some too in the basin, I understand.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
This is Mary Kelly, she's our county engineer, and she's looked this over.
The water that they're taking is water that's gonna be in the district anyway. So they're not necessarily adding additional water to the district. I mean, if you wanna look at that, and hopefully it will alleviate I mean, it's a pretty large district, so just taking this out isn't gonna eliminate any problems downstream, but hopefully it will provide some storage so maybe the district isn't getting hit downstream as hard. And then if they daylight those tiles upstream, hopefully that will provide some relief for them as well.
Well, I realize this isn't anything really with your point, but Russell and I, we've always had a little, you know, concern about the fact that you don't pay property tax. And the property tax goes to the Ventura School System, I pay it, and And the Ventura School, of course, can't even keep up, so they have to go to Garner because of those thousands of acres out there that don't pay property tax. And I know that's what happens with the United States government, you can't tax them. It's one of the reasons why the old timers left the old country, to come to this place so that they could have some of their own land, because it was all owned by the government. And we're gradually getting there. We've got some states that are probably 3/4 owned by the government, Nevada for one, I believe. That isn't your guys' fault, I mean, it's just an idea that, I'm wondering if we're not getting too much of our land owned by the government.
With that said, yeah, property taxes versus the assessment. And Russell, you alluded to the assessments of the maintenance of the property tax deal. Yeah, that's kind of a mute subject for us here.
Yeah,
but,
I agree.
Yeah.
I think Delbert Watson told me every time I seen him for about 5 years is, get the federal government to pay their share of the bill. I said, we try.
Unfortunately, we pay the federal government too,
Yeah.
so it's kind of a
Yeah, our lateral
catch-22.
here, I got from 2010, there's an assessment for 14,000, 45,000, 15,000, 1,100, that's $7,500. See, there's all the assessments that this guy sends me, and Roger, we gotta fix down there. And you guys are building a dam down there.
And it would look like, man, it's gonna be almost every 50 years, we won't even use this this drainage district, because we're gonna be going into the basin and you're not gonna go over the dike
Not gonna.
under a normal situation.
Right, but you're not gonna pay for it either. I mean, they're paying for it, so.
Yeah, they're paying for it, except we're gonna still assess, if they fix it down farther to the south, we're gonna get stuck with the cost, even though we really don't drain into it.
I think we've kind of been told that this probably will help the district some. This project
Well, it should slow it down.
should slow it down and should help the district some.
Yeah, even downstream as well as upstream. But the other side of the coin is, if the federal government had not purchased that peat ground, that tile all the way through there is just horrendous, and somebody would have had to pay for replacing it, yeah.
The hand dug one you're talking about.
The what?
The hand dug one, where they, during the Depression, they hand dug through the hill.
Went through the hill, no, I think he's talking about the peat.
Yeah, no, I'm talking through the peat ground,
Well,
north of the blacktop.
most of the time, there's not gonna be any water in there. I'm almost assured of that.
Well, I hope you're wrong.
Thanks. A few duck cutters I got go by my place, and Roger's there, and there's probably as many DNR guys go by as there's duck cutters. And that's my feeling about the whole thing, and I'm sitting out in front of it, watching it all.
Yeah, the idea of people going out there looking at flowers and things are pretty slim, but.
I got a lot of, I don't have any pheasants anymore, because what is it that's getting them? Not fox, the coyotes, yeah. Somebody's planting the coyotes down there.
I usually slow down to about 30 miles an hour just so I can see what's going on out there. That's about.
We appreciate
all I look
that.
at it.
I love, and I've always want to call you every time the road does come.
You do,
Okay. And for our benefit, Larry, do you have any comments? You're kind of.
No, I think they've been said.
Okay, all righty.
I just have
Yes,
one
Doug.
question.
Yes.
Doug, are you done, Larry? I have one question for Doug, and we had talked about it before, but I guess want some clarification. This lateral 1U, now, it drains from the north to the south, and where you guys are planning on outletting it, that's where it starts. So how is that gonna daylight?
Well, there's a lot of drop.
Because it starts right here,
Right.
so if you daylight that out that way,
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing to daylight, is there? That's what I know.
Yeah, there's enough drop.
Because you're not daylighting this one.
No, but, see, this, I'm assuming, Roger would know better than I, but I'm assuming there's some tile coming down like this.
That goes under the road?
Right.
Okay. I guess, see, we didn't have any record of anything going under the road,
Mm-hmm.
so I wasn't quite sure.
Okay,
how that
well,
would
we just
help.
made that assumption. I don't, Roger?
Yeah, it has to go, that's the only outlet we have.
Yeah.
So you do have a crossing in there that goes under the road,
What do you mean by crossing?
like a tile crossing that goes under the road?
Just north of the
Visible to
acreage.
look at, or?
No, under the ground.
Yeah,
Okay, all
Just
right.
on the
We didn't have
northwest.
any record of it, so.
no, it goes, there's a tile that goes across the gravel, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, where I have no waterway.
Okay, all
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
What diameter would that, just guessing? Large?
Well,
Was
we
it
didn't-
large diameter?
Golly, I've seen, we've never opened up the main, we'll talk about, we've hooked onto it, but we don't do
Okay.
it. We haven't looked at it, I don't know.
I think it shows on plans.
Somewhere it should show,
6 inch.
because it's been in there for years and years, I would assume there'd be some record of it somewhere.
Well, with that, any other questions or concerns? Everyone?
Well, I always ask about the crops.
Okay,
Hay and corn and the beans, they raise now, I don't know if they raise beans and corn. Everything, there's another thing, there's some income there. How's that handled?
Yeah, it's handled through a lease by the local biologist. Yeah, it's rented out. And at one time, I was the managing biologist for that area. I had a fair amount of that ground rented out, and I would rotate the corn and the beans some. In fact, Roger, are you still leasing some of it? Yeah.
In the hay business.
But the federal government has been sued or threatened to be sued by environmental interests that say that that public land is for recreation and there shouldn't be any farming on it at all.
They're in competition.
So, so Iowa's wildlife people in Des Moines essentially said, if you don't want us to do any farming on that ground, then it's your land. You're gonna have to manage it. Well, they don't have the manpower. So we kind of backed them into a corner, so there will still be some leasing on that ground, but probably not quite. as
Well, I
much.
think it was a good idea, you know, to give
Oh, yeah.
the deer some feed, you know, they got feed in the winter time and everything will stay on the property.
But we are required to, have a food plot left over, and we don't get to harvest it till spring.
Mhm.
So, that's, that's partly for the animals and so on and so forth. But, I surely don't think they abuse, the cropping on these DNR lands. I mean, they just pick certain spots and there are certain advantages. You cut off a field of alfalfa and have it grow up and you'll see geese out there just thick.
Mm-hmm.
Because they enjoy that, and even if you had nothing but switchgrass, the pheasants and everything else are just stuck in wet ground where they can go off to an area where it's dry, where they can get dried off after a rain. You see it all the time on the lanes and the drives where they are. So
out of the shoulder sunning themselves.
that's right. So I mean, that's just so. I know they want to go more and more switchgrass. They're trying to get rid of the brome that was put out there during the CRP times, but I'm not completely sure that that's wise, but that is my decision, so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you think we're coming to conclusion here? Everyone's some satisfactory? Okay. I'm going to ask for the final call for any questions, concerns, and after that, we're going to call for the closing of the public portion of this meeting. So, any other last minute comments, questions? Not hearing any, Bob, what do you think?
Well, I want to thank everybody that
Oh, yeah.
come, and I had calls from some of the other neighbors, so you're not the only people that are interested in this. And it gives us an insight to what we probably will do with the district. We'll have to see what the contracts and everything look like. But at this time, I'll make a motion to close the public portion here.
Okay, and also second that, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, according to my calculations, we've gone down through everything, so the last line item is adjournment.
So moved.
All right, I'll second that, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, people, for coming.
Yep.